Welcome back, folks, to Tyler Fixes Things. And I'm Tyler. Today we got a 2016 Polaris Sportsman 450 HO fuel injected. So a customer brought this in here because a little bit of loss of performance, and it finally got to the point to where he couldn't even get it to start. So what I do first, just to eliminate some issues, bring it in the shop, put it on charger. I noticed off the rip when I turned the key on, dash was flickering, so voltage is low, probably from just trying to start this thing so much. So I put my jumper on here. I've got it on charge. I got it turned off right now because of the annoying hum and buzz. But what I've done, turn the key on, let everything prime up, and then I tried to crank and I got nothing. Okay, so I sprayed a little bit of starting fluid in here. So just to check basic engine function here to make sure we've got good spark compression, all this good stuff. To break this down really quick, what we're doing is just looking for proof of concept. You got three things to make a fire work. It's called the stoichiometry. It's a triangle. You've got fuel, air, and heat. So what we're doing is we're eliminating one of those three. So when I'm shooting this ether in here, we're adding fuel and it runs proof of concept, which means we've got air and spark. So that's our heat. So between all three, when I add fuel, the third element that it needs, it fires. Now, whether it runs great, just to be determined later on, but that's the proof of concept that we're going for. Those three things: spark, air, fuel. Now, of course, you've got computer control, compression issues, spark voltage, all that stuff being around the board. But for basic proof of concept, this is what we're doing. Just give it a little bit of juice, starting fluid, and she'll fire up. Eventually stalls out. Now that's actually the longest I've gotten it to run. So I was thinking, okay, well, we got a fueling issue because we've got hardly any throttle response, and if you lay into it, it falls on its face, it'll barely idle and it won't start on its own. I have to give it a little bit of that starting fluid to kick it off. So fuel injected, we're going to check pressures. So what I did, I got my tester here, and I can put a link in the description. The only issue I have with this kit is the whip they provide with it is garbage. I know you get what you pay for when it comes to diagnostics, but I don't use this guy a whole lot, but I'm starting to use it a lot more. Pressure tester, it's like a T style. So it comes with this little whip that's supposed to be interchangeable that you can stick on to the end of any of these different size ports here for whatever fuel line you're working in. The problem is this little guy does not even tighten down over this, and it doesn't seal it. So all I did, the gauge goes on this end, took the gauge out, and I just plumb the gauge directly into the T block here. No muss, no fuss. So this works with your actual connectors here for your fuel injector rail or your fuel rail. This fitting here works for it. Then your fuel line, it clips over the male barb here, and the female fitting goes over here. So we're just reading the pressure off of this T block here. So according to Polaris on this guy, you're supposed to read anywhere from, it's about 56 pounds of pressure PSI. So 56 plus minus 1 or 2. So we turn the key on, we notice we get a little bit of pressure, about 30 pounds, and it bleeds right back off. It should hold that 30 pounds, but it's not. It's bleeding it right back off into the tank, which tells me the pump's not holding. And then while we were running, it bounces all over the place around 20 to 30, and eventually it just stalls out. We've got a problem here with the fuel pressure coming from the fuel pump. There is a pressure regulator here, so I'm not going to rule that out as being part of an issue, but I do know that that is not what keeps this thing from holding pressure. That pump should be able to build and hold pressure when it kicks off. It bleeds right back off right now. So that's what we're going to start with, is get a fuel pump for this thing, and I'll see how this goes, and I'll make a follow-up video. So if you're having issues or you want to know how to check fuel pressures on these things, that's all you do. Got the T block in here. Just be prepared, you know, if you've got a good system and you don't know it, there's going to be some pressure in this line that's going to spurt out on here. The best you can do is unhook the fuel pump, let it run dry, or even if you're not running, whatever you want to do. But we know we got a pressure issue and a hold pressure issue, so that's how we're going to get this thing going, guys. Hopefully this helps somebody. God bless. Thanks.